So let's try and counter this. They could have another board wipe, I suppose. So yeah, as I said in the deck tech, once you get the Frilled Mystic out and you've got Chulane, it doesn't look very good for the opponent. Because, yeah, you can continue to counter. Obviously, they can play something else after. They're going to abrade it. Oh no, that's really sad. They've obviously not come across this synergy before. So if you enjoy flickering, drawing cards, and hyper synergistic decks, then I think you should really look into making this deck. Chulane, Teller of Tales, is 2 and banned for original. It's 2/4. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. That's already powerful, but just on top of that, they add an ability that says 3 and tap. Return a creature you control to its owner's hand. The most offensive thing I think you can do with this ability is Frilled Mystic. This comes in, counters a spell your opponent controls. If you want to be an absolute dick, you can return this to your hand for 3 mana and then play it for 4 mana. So as long as you've got 7 mana up every single turn, you can counter your opponent's spells. This is one of the most mean interactions I think I've seen in the game. It's not especially oppressive because it takes 7 mana, but it is very mean, and I've managed to pull it off a few times. If your opponent can't stop this, then they're screwed. Another way you can actually trigger Frilled Mystic is using stuff like Cloud Shift, which instantly flickers the creature. Ephemerate and Essence Flux all do the same thing, flickers the guy in response to an opponent's spell, counters it. Absolutely dick move. Just don't tell anyone it came from me, just enjoy it to yourself. Yeah, the deck, apart from that, is a super synergistic flicker build with lots of value. Stuff like Thassa to re-trigger abilities. Where is the other one? We've got Teleportation Circle, which basically is another Thassa. You've got Panamonican to double the triggers. Combine this with the amount of ETBs in the deck and you're absolutely gold. As I said, Frilled Mystic, Cloud Blazer, Elite Guard Mage will draw you lots of cards. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath draws you cards. Everything pretty much draws cards or plays lands. Double the triggers. Give it a go yourself. This is very, very powerful. I haven't included Teferi, the 4 mana one, because it's I'm trying to kind of secretly get underneath the algorithms fingers. So try not to use the most annoying stuff like Scoot Swarm Teferi if you don't want to keep facing higher tier decks, because the stronger cards you use, the stronger opponents you will face. It's just simple as that. Deck list in the description below. Comment below, tell me what you think. I've had a lot of fun playing this deck. Make it yourself, tweak it. That's the whole point of Magic. Don't forget to like and leave me a sub, as it really helps the channel, and I really appreciate everyone who has so far. And yeah, if you want to donate, then please look at my Ko-fi donations page. But if you're not happy about using Ko-fi, then I've also got an Amazon wish list where I've got some items on there that I would like, and you can go on there and have a look. But yes, let's get into the gameplay. We get to go first against First Sliver. Okay, let's see what we've got then. Starting hand is not too bad actually. We've got a pretty decent curve. Portable Hole, I think that's a little bit too slow, especially given that First Sliver players, they like big creatures. Probably not going to be that helpful. Fibblethip will draw us a card here. Anything that progresses our agenda, gives us more lands, wonderful. That's why the deck does have a 40 land count. Anything that refers to lands in your commander's text probably wants you to have more lands, so keep that in mind. Elvish Mystic can get the Chulane out a bit faster, so we can think about maybe we could go for the Elvish Mystic, or we could go for Settle the Wilds, which is the same difference. I think we'll go for this. This also nets us a card, which is pretty cool. So next turn we could go for Chulane. Now, issue with First Sliver is it's very high impact. Every one of their spells is probably going to be really powerful. And it's funny how the shape of the game has changed. In the old days, this used to be a Slivers build, but a lot of the new builds just has one. And it's this one here. So, Panamonican, they've got 3 mana open. Red. Okay, so it could be a counter spell, which is entirely possible. And kind of scary. So do we have a backup plan? Let's just go for it. I mean, if they counter it, don't they? Okay, they could have a board wipe as well. There wasn't any hesitation there, so we could see a wipe, or just straight up the First Sliver here. White, blue, black, red, green. Banishing Light on the Chulane. So it's interesting that they prioritise killing the Chulane before casting their own general. Okay, fair enough. So let's ramp out a bit more so we can keep casting Chulane the turns after. There was no way we could have actually got rid of that Banishing Light, sadly. So I think putting him to the command zone was the right move. You could argue that would have been a good turn for the Panharmonicon. The Baron to bounce something, but annoyingly whatever we bounce is going to get a second trigger from the recast, so maybe that's not a good idea. Reflection, so they're going to get... Now this doesn't actually work with their general because of the legend rule. So if we use the Manglehorn, this does get rid of the Cold Steel Heart, which is actually pretty good. Let's try that then, because that's the only red source they have. That feels pretty cool. And then we go for Panharmonicon here, set up the future turns. So it's slow and steady. So they need another red source to cast first ever. They probably have one, so they did have one. That's a bit annoying, but there's not really any weakness to have 5 colours these days. It used to be that the mana fixing and stuff was pretty bad, but yeah, I think mana's essentially perfect these days. So they're going to go for lots of slivers before the first sliver, which is interesting because we can just bounce these back to hand. I think that's what we're going to do here. But we don't have the double blue though, do we? That's annoying. So let's go for the Seer. This draws us to... Maybe it will give us a blue source. That's going to be important, otherwise we're going to get a little bit overwhelmed by... Okay, so at very least we can get back the land. It feels a bit bad doing this. But we just have to. I want to get rid of their tokens. And we will be able to. That was actually pretty lucky, to be honest. So they've all got double strike, so attacking is not viable at all at the minute. I mean, I'm sure we'll have ways to get around there. Incredible defense, because anything that currently has 4 toughness will just get double blocked. Here comes the sliver, so it won't work with the reflections, but at least it's a true sliver deck, which is kind of cool. Ooh, they get Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize, damn, that's unlucky. But our hand is pretty stacked. Whatever happens, we're going to be able to draw a lot of stuff here. I see, so it instantly sends the original back to hand. Okay. Cool thing is, if they attack, I'm still going to double block and kill one, unless they have removal. Not too bothered about losing some just random 2/2s here. And one of the other cool things is if we bounce Baron, then we can get rid of 2 things again. Okay, let's tap the Mystic. Yeah, we'll go for Chulane, and then we can try and protect him with the Tamiya safekeeping. We'll just play it cool for now, there's no need to rush in. They've only got 13, so... Pardon me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We almost have lethal on board if we had a way to get rid of their blockers. Down to 11. So they don't care about their life. Exalted. So they don't have Trample, so I'm not that bothered. They do have Cascade though. If they have a sliver with flying or Trample, we could be in trouble here. Okay, so Manawef sliver. This is an ETB trigger. Okay, so they'll get copies of that. They want a land, which is pretty suspicious because they've already got a way to tap for lots of mana here. That's interesting. Slivers have... Okay, so that's a weird one. That slivers have pay 2 to untap, sure. once upon a time. So they're getting a lot of extra bonuses here for not much work. Predatory Sliver, that's going to make them all stronger. Okay. This is actually pretty crazy, the Mana Weft Sliver. It's giving them a lot of mana extra. There's, well, 3 there. Mox Amber gives them an additional mana. Does come in tapped because of the Manglehorn. Right, let's see what they're going to do here. They're going to attack with the first Sliver. So I could... It's got Exalted. So I probably want to Cloud Shift the Baron to bounce 2 things, because we don't want to get hit by or really lose anything that's that big. So bounce this, and then I think we get rid of one of the slivers that gives them a team pump. So that basically null and voids all of those triggers, which would have been incredibly powerful, especially given that it has double strike. All those abilities, crazy. Let's see what we got then. Elspeth Conquers Death, that's a pretty good hit as well. All these extra triggers we're getting is pretty crazy. Yeah, let's keep going. Oh, Nyambi, we can play lands. And a land on top's just fine. So what can we do? We have 3 mana. They've got Exalted, so it's unlikely they attack with everything, although they do all have double strike. They can untap them, they've got mana of any colour. Pretty crazy if you ask me. Okay, let's just hold back for now. We're probably going to want to chomp some of this. The fact they all have double strike is kind of insane. Have I just shot myself in the foot there? I probably should have actually Conquers Death on the bone side there, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, that was probably a mistake. So they can pay 2 mana for the Sliver. Why is that only 2 mana? Oh, it's got Unearth. Right, okay. So they're going to get Flying in Haste. Okay, yeah, I don't think there was a way for me to actually stop Flying in Haste anyway. Yeah, so we lose in a spectacular fashion here. Flying Haste double strike. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we'll give them the glory of the old final combat swing if they ever choose to. I don't really know what the... So it's a 1 mana spell, okay. So luckily for them, if you cascade into something that costs 0, the deck just reshuffles back to normal. Wow, okay. Flying Haste is pretty crazy. Nothing we can really do about that, sadly. We don't have... So even if we did use the ECD on the bone side, they would have still had flying. What? Why are they attacking with just the 1? What? Was that intentional? It doesn't have trample. Okay, so they're slowly accepting all the triggers rather than auto-yielding. Fair enough. 36, 36, double strike. No trample, though. That's kind of strange. Is that strange? What am I missing here? I feel like... Okay, well, I guess we can... We live then. This is one of those funny moments where I think, what have I done wrong? But I think if the opponent just attacked with everything, they would have won. So we get to put a land into play. We get a Nyambi, we get a couple of triggers. We get to bounce this. And then I guess we can bounce the Baron to try and bounce a couple more things. So, interestingly, if they had trample, would still be dead because that we have 0 toughness blocking. But when you bounce and then flicker something, the damage is essentially negated. So the unearth now triggers, and then it goes to exile, and then to the command zone. Yeah, I'm a bit stumped. I'm pretty sure they would have won with the flying double strike because we only had two flying blockers, right? Okay, fair enough. Let's see what else we can do. Portable hole, that can clear some stuff as well. I think we have to start by getting rid of the double strike though. That one is definite ender of worlds here. Now, somewhat interestingly, they could have actually played around with the legend rule a bit there, because all their stuff taps for mana. So they could have played the first sliver, legend ruled the original, goes back to hand, and then recast it quite a few times, but they, by unearthing it, yeah, there's actually, quite a lot of line to play, to be honest. So now what we want to do is we want to bounce something to their hand now, but I'm not sure if this one's going to really make too much of a difference because most of the tokens give residual abilities that don't matter in copies anyway. So like if I get rid of this one, they've still got one that gives them haste. What's this one? So that's the untap. First strike, I guess. Yeah, we'll kill one of the ones like that, and then I think one of the mana ones, because then we can actually use portable hole to kill the cloud shredder, which means they stop having flying. I do wonder, you know, in an alternate universe, or we get double triggers as well, so we can kill the cloud shredder, and then we can also kill the mana weapon. This actually takes them off quite a lot of mana, which is kind of epic. I wonder if the opponent was just being fun. Yeah, there's no way of knowing, is there? There's just no way. Okay, nevertheless, we're still not out of the woods yet because there's so many things to... There's just so many threats on the board. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they have to use physical mana rather than the creatures. This pumps the team. First strike, not bothered. Untap, not bothered. Exalted, kind of scary. Unearth, yes, pretty annoying. Let's see what they get here. So if they get a board wipe or something, it would be bad. Bad for both of us, though. Drover of the Mighty. So that's not a sliver. So yeah, they could have done this last turn when they had lots of mana dorks, but oh, so they've got Unearth. I guess they can... It still counts, yeah. So Unearthing, playing it for 2 is... playing it for 2 is pretty scary, have to say. They've only got 9 life though, so they're going to have to be careful. If we get something like Cathar's Crusade, it could be the end for them, but then they have so many blockers they'd probably survive anyway, so... Untap the creature. What creature? What did they untap? First strike. Exalted. So, I mean, as long as we just keep blocking... I mean, it's certainly an interesting game, that's for sure. First strike Exalted. Thank God it doesn't have lifelink. That would be bad. And it doesn't have trample. Okay. So, yeah, this is definitely a chomp here. We're going to get to draw a card, which is nice. I mean, it would have been nice to flicker that with the Panharmonicon out, but... Land. And then we can spend this turn to return the Baron, I suppose. Baron here is a one-man army, single-handedly taking out their entire game plan. Welcoming vampires, nice. I think the wife just come home, so if you hear some noises from downstairs, that'll be her. So we'll put this into play, and we also get to... Oh, okay. We we turned that round. Amazing. I can't believe that. I can't believe that at all. Opponent goes first with Phylath, which is a lands matter landfall deck. Loving our starting hand here. Gala Greeters into the north. Always cards you want to see in your opener. They've mulliganed, so we have a little bit of a head start here. Saying that, they did get a turn 1 play, so who knows? We could get absolutely ravaged. Oof. Turn 2, another Llanowar Elves, basically. That's not nice to see. And I think I've actually misplayed here, because I should have got a green source. Okay, I mean, we might be okay. Scoot Swarm. So now we want a board wipe. We want a board wipe. There we go. Yeah, never punished. Apparently, you can just will things into existence. So we'll get a green source. And yeah, they can feel free to do as they wish. So if they go for a land, they can go for the Phylath. And sadly, it's not going to last very long. The joy and the happiness on their face will soon corrode into nothingness. And they will meet a new dawn. Oh, cool bat avatar though, on the right. Nice. Okay, always nice to see a colourless build. Khan Living Legacy. It's a deck I built recently actually. Go and check it out if you're into more colourless decks like this. We're probably going to want to mulligan this because we don't have much of an early start. Like this is good. Anything that has a Llanowar Elves, turn 1. Turn 2 Cultivate, that's the dream, isn't it? They're also using islands, so it could be my build. Could be. It's not impossible. This adds 1 only to cast an artifact spell. Weirdly, Khan is not an artifact though. We could just straight up Broken Bond it, but I think Cultivate's stronger here. Go for the blue and green. And it's always nice to have extra mana in hand because the Broken Bond lets you play an additional land. I think this is a really good... I think this is a staple, to be honest. Cosmos Elixir. That's going to have to get blown up, methinks. Although I could spend a turn off getting Chulane out. So yeah, once we have Chulane out, I think, unless they can deal with him pretty quick. Let's see what they do. So they're going to make Power Stone token, I believe. Because at this point there's not much else they can do with the minus. Yeah, the drawing card thing is pretty crazy as well. We could just straight up kill the Khan. Yeah, let's get for Settle the Walls first. We'll get a 5-drop if there is one. There is a Cloud Blazer, fantastic. Play a land. And 3 mana. So let's kill the Khan. We'll deal with the elixir later. I don't like leaving Khan around for too long.
Failure haunts me still.
And we have vigilance, so we can... Well, we'll attack. They'll probably block. Yeah, but it's worth a try. So we've ramped pretty hard. 6 mana, 7 mana. Hadron Archive. So the thing we want to look out for is Ulamog here. Circuit Mender, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're going to draw an extra card here. Yeah, Ulamog's going to absolutely wreck us if they get to cast that. Damn, yeah, we're going to really want to kill that, I think. So we go for this. How much mana do we have left after? We'll still have 2, so we can still go for the Heroic Intervention. Sorry, the Broken Bond, sorry. Guard Mage is nice. Okay, no lands, but yeah, let's kill the Elixir here, because that's drawing them a lot of cards here. It's giving them an extra 2. So, somewhat annoyingly, we can't get past these 3 toughness commons and uncommons, but hopefully there'll be a time where we'll be able to push forward. 5, 6, 7, 8. Khan again.
If we must
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think we want to start leaving the heroic intervention up soon, because that will prevent the Ulamog from screwing us over entirely. But yeah, their field's looking safe, even though we've killed some powerful cards. So what should we go for first? Whatever we do, we're going to be able to draw lots of cards, that's for sure. Go for the priest. Okay. And then this lets us draw again. Tamio safekeeping 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so we can keep going a bit more. Into the north. And a Day of Judgment, okay. Send the flyer in over the top. So some of the other things we're scared of is stuff like Paradox Engine. Being able to untap all of their stuff. Blast Zone's pretty annoying as well, although our stuff is quite expensive. 4, 3, 5, 5. If they put that on 5, that would be pretty bad for us.
Dominaria's treasures will aid us in our fight.
Khan's Silex. So they can straight up just kill our whole field here. Meteor Golem, let's see what they go for. Go for Chulane. So yeah, we'll just use Tamio's safekeeping here. Keep them protected. So the thing we need to watch out for is next turn they can just activate this and blow up our field. So we don't actually want to go for the Day of Judgment plus Heroic Intervention move yet. We want to keep this up when they blow up the field. I think that's going to be a good point to push forward the agenda. Besaju's nice. That would... The thing about Besaju is I kind of want them to blow up their own field of their own accord. So let's just keep drawing some stuff. So we got the land. Crazy amount of draw in this deck. Cobra. Pardon me. Felidar Retreat. No, we don't want to go for the Besaju yet. Right, now I feel a bit more confident in the game. We'll swing both things into Khan. So either way, we're looking great. The Heroic Intervention basically says to creature decks, everything's going to be all right. Just like Alicia Keys said. So, yeah, we are ready for many eventualities here. Darksteel Citadel. So that seems like they can do a lot of different things in this deck. It's an artifact, probably ways to make it into a creature and stuff. Go on, blow up the field. It looks like they're preparing for that because otherwise, normally people keep the Hedron Archive for the mana, but if you're going to blow up the field, you might as well draw 2 anyway, right? The Relic's indestructible. Okay, so that's also fine for them. So these will be unaffected in the following turn, and they've got loads of mana, so there's no reason for them to blow up the field yet. Yeah, okay, fine. Otawara as well, okay. These are both really good cards. I do want to play a land though, so although I'm saying that, we can get it into the north, can't we? So not only do we get a land, but we can pump the whole team, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Stuff like Felidar Retreat is a little bit like Cathar's Crusade in that it can just win out of nowhere. Okay, let's go for Baron. In hindsight, I probably should have returned the creature last turn with the Chulane, but it's fine. Yeah, we'll play a land. I'm getting greedy here, but it's fine because every time we play a land, we get a land back with the old Lotus Cobra. And now we can bounce something. What do we want to bounce? I guess they all have... That's a death trigger. That's an ETB. ETB. I guess we'll bounce the Perilous Mirror. That's the most... the one that they don't get any advantage from replaying. And we might as well play Risen Reef. Holy crap, we get another land. This is looking crazy here. And all of us must get Vigilance, don't forget. We get a trigger. Frilled Mystic. Wonderful. I don't think there's much they can actually do now. So let's swing in. What do we care about losing? I'm not even bothered. Yeah, they can kill the Cobra if they really want to. They'll lose 2 things. It's a lot of damage. Yeah, that is a lot of damage actually. That's 24. It's almost lethal. In fact, if I had attacked with the Chulane, they would have had to block with more things. But to be perfectly honest, I don't think they can come out of this situation. Not when we have a counterspell and the intervention. So, yeah, this is the thing. Sometimes it's good not to do something. The absence of something is effective. If I had destroyed the Silex, I wouldn't have given them the hope that they now have here. And it's going to feel bad for them, but... yeah, and there you go. Pretty sweet way to win. Feels a bit mean, but that's just the game, isn't it? Awesome. Sweet, we get to go first, and hand is incredibly removal heavy. I love it. Bounce a thing, destroy a thing, destroy a thing, double the triggers. Wonderful hand. Also, props to the opponent for having an epic game attack. Mega Blaster. Love it. Mega Blaster 326. I guess Mega Blaster was just taken, so the numbers had to be added, but still very cool nevertheless. Yashan's nice, but I'd like to have an untapped mana, please. Otherwise, our turn 3 is looking a bit silly. Oh, they've got Necron sleeves. Somebody like the 40k Warhammer decks. Pretty cool. I actually can't believe how much those decks are going for. Little caveat actually before I talk about the price of stuff. Since the great British pound has declined so hard, the pound is essentially as weak as it ever has been. So when I mention something's in dollars, chances are it's probably not far from pounds, and vice versa. In the past it used to be a small conversion, but yeah, if I say it now it's pretty much the same, which is kind of crazy. But yes, the deck I saw at Comic-Con for the foil Warhammer decks, it was like, I think it was like 120 quid, even more than that. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. So whoever got the early bird deal with those decks got pretty lucky. I've got a friend who bought all 4, and I think they cost him £200, which is, in hindsight, I thought it's quite a lot. Actually, pretty awesome. Because if you think they're each about, you know, £60 each, you're saving at least 40 quid there. Amazing. Shame, I mean, I do like Warhammer. I do like the idea of the decks, but yeah, that's just too expensive. Way too expensive. Okay, we're facing Johnny Jungler. I like it. With the odd Fire Song and Sunspeaker deck. Very cool. Starting hand looks decent, but 2 mana with no ramp. Not happy about that. This is a little bit better. Still a little bit slow, but we get to go first. And if you've not seen Fire Song and Sunspeaker, their red spells have lifelink, so the lightning bolts gain 3 life essentially. And whenever a white instant or sorcery causes them to gain life, it deals 3 damage to creature or player. That's really cool, really powerful. It's nice to face something that's a bit different, I have to say. This was actually the buy a box promo for the Dominaria set from not last year, a few years ago. So we could go for Uro. Let's get the ball rolling here. life gain versus life drain, essentially, is always going to be good. We get to ramp, which is important. Land on top. I love lands. Let's do this, guys. Let's get as many lands out as humanly possible. So we could go for Chulane next turn, but they have access to white and red, so we might be saying goodbye. Instead, let's Rex Sage their Locket. Not only does this kill ramp, but it kills a potential way for them to draw cards. So it does feel a bit mean, but has to be done. So I've left up 2 mana. I was going to cast Wall of Blossoms, but instead I'm going to have to leave up for Fateful Absence. Cicadas, Splendor. So if they gain life, they draw lots of cards. Okay, that seems like something they can pull off pretty easily. Yeah, let's go for Chulane. I mean, I'm kind of dying to get him out. It's exciting, isn't it, to get Chulane out. Regrowth. Regrowth is good, but not when you have nothing in the graveyard. Just noticed they've got the Post Malone avatar there. Ooh, okay. Discarding the hand, they're drawing that many. But that's an awesome card. Love it. Not many spells. Makes sense. You want lots of spells in that deck to do lots of shenanigans. Let's put a land into play. Feels absurd being able to just draw all these cards for literally no effort. Oh my goodness. Just look at all this. Wow. So we can even do this. Thing is, if they have a board wipe, it feels really bad, doesn't it? So I think I'm just going to leave my mana up. And if they do board wipe, I can return one of my guys to my hand and then redeploy them. Playing more creatures out when they have none is always a risk, so be wary of that. I'd call it overloading the board. If you're fairly new to the game, you don't want to reveal too much of your hand. Even when it feels exciting to do, like splurge everything out. Reservation is a huge part of the game that a lot of people I know that have been playing for a long time still don't have huge control over. So Serra Paragon comes out, lets them cast a creature that costs 3 or less, or a land. A fantastically powerful card. They went for the Ornithopter from their hand, I think. So actually let's use the Absence here because it costs more mana to do that. And we've stopped them from reanimating stuff from the graveyard, which is good. So now we've run out of things to do. I guess it's a good time to start playing stuff. We've kind of got a very defendery based deck here, so that is one direction you could actually make. Let's just draw a card. I'm not worried about an Ornithopter. Okay, Frilled Mystic. Now I feel very, very safe. Once you get the Frilled Mystic out, things aren't looking good for the opponent, unfortunately. So we've got a way to defend ourselves from literally anything they do. Good luck to the opponent. I mean, it's not possible, but I think we've put them in a very tricky situation here. So let's try and counter this. They could have another board wipe, I suppose. So yeah, as I said in the deck tech, once you get the Frilled Mystic out and you've got Chulane, it doesn't look very good for the opponent. Because, yeah, you can continue to counter. Obviously, they can play something else after. They're going to abrade it. Oh no, that's really sad. They've obviously not come across this synergy before. So the trigger, yeah, it's dirty, guys. What did I say? It's dirty. If you want to see more evil decks like this, check out this video that I've chosen especially for you.